What's going on, good people? Y'all caught me with my rollers in my hair. Don't even trip. Listen, because what do we do on this podcast? We in real time. Talk about it. So happy Tuesday. And you know, if you can see me and or hear me, it is time for the mic drop. And like every single week, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are coming to you live and in living color. For those of you who do not know, my name is Nishika Melton, and I am your simplified productivity coach. What that means is I help you create the vision that you actually want to implement, as well as the strategic plan to see it through to completion so that you can live the successful life that you know you deserve. Now, for those of you who are my OGs, y'all already know. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for me to tell you. Go ahead and put your city and state in the chat. And if you are chiming in from another country, hello, because sometimes we do have that going on. Uh, put your country in the chat. We know Greensboro shows up thoroughly. Okay, thoroughly for this podcast every single Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you saw what I typed in for the description, we are about to talk with a lady who, to be around her, you would never know. And I know people say I don't look like what I've been through, and that's true because neither do I. But it's different when people share with you the truth of their journey and their transparency. And I was around this lady several times during the month and did not know all of what she was going through and had gone through, because we were doing activities and communicating and all these different things. But she has literally had the rug pulled out from under her, the wind knocked out of her. And I know there are many of us, and I can't see your hand, but raise your hand in the chat or just say me if that has been you at some point in your life where you got hit with something and you didn't see it coming. And so now you got to scramble and figure out what's going to happen. But let's throw something else into that gumbo. You're a wife, so you got to go tell your husband. You're a mother. You're a mother. So now you got to factor your child into that as well. That gumbo gets a little thick. So I'm going to bring Candice to the stage, and I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to dive into her journey and some amazing opportunities that she has had here recently. So let me get my sound. Y'all know. Let me get my sound going. And I'm gonna bring her to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Candice Dixon.
Girl. Yeah, you are silly.
All day, every day, girl. How
Yeah.
are you on this Tuesday evening?
I'm good. I'm good. Cold, but good. I am.
Girl.
Thank you. How you?
Yeah, I'm still listen, y'all. Before we talked, before we got on this, we was talking about the snow that's supposed to be coming and the temperatures. And child, I'm just trying to get myself together from that conversation because people in North Carolina don't know how to drive in inclement weather,
Don't know
and
how
we
to
about to have it this weekend. Okay, so let me transition Candice, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, girl.
Hey everybody, I am Candice. I am just a wife, a mom, a daughter, a friend, a sister, all the things. I am a therapist. I am a person that loves movies. This is just who I am. There is a plethora of things that makes me me. So I'm Candice.
Now she said she put the wrong word in there when she said just. I'm just. No, no, no. No, no, no. Because this listen, and maybe I just attract these type of people because this girl got many jobs. Okay. She got many things that she do. And I know I'm the pot calling the kettle black, but when she
Mhm.
said I'm just, no, 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 no. Absolutely not. Because she is very active in every lane that she walks in, runs in, and sometimes, child, we have to crawl in it because we just be like, done. She is a therapist. And before we dive deep into your story, your testimony, this question just came to my mind. How often are you your own therapist, Candice? Like, because we know we're both Bible believers, and the
Mhm.
Bible tells us that David had to encourage himself.
Mhm.
So, how often do you allow yourself to do that for Candice?
Daily.
Mm.
Daily. I mean, in all honesty, you know, life can be pretty tough and life can be simple. But the work that I do, I have to make sure that I encourage myself. I hear so many stories. I encounter so many people. You know, sometimes it can kind of get you off of your task or off of, your own stage. And you have to remind yourself constantly who you are. Often, you encounter so many people when you're doing things and here and there. you know I have to remind myself daily and encourage myself daily. And I also have my own therapist too, so so that's good. But then, I always talk to God, always praying,
Always.
always. Hmm.
So let's take it back because I told the people that you had the rug pulled
Hmm.
out from under you, the wind knocked out of you.
Yeah.
So you've been in this therapist lane for how many years?
uh had to be about 4 or 5 years.
Hmm.
Had to be about 4 or 5 years at the time. Actually, no. Wait a minute. Seven.
7 years.
7 years. 7 years, because this was 2020 when this happened. And I've been doing
Okay.
it since 2013. So 7 years I've been
Okay.
doing therapy.
And
Yes.
so what happened in 2020 that kind of shook you?
Well, COVID happened.
Hmm.
COVID came into the midst, and at that time, I was working for an agency, a mental health agency, where I was the program manager there, where I would supervise the therapist there and also manage like the mental health program, the structure of the program there at that facility. Um, During the time, if everybody can remember, when COVID hit and around April, people then had to migrate to working from home or
Yes.
being at home. But we were considered essential workers because the agency was also like a crisis unit. So
Okay.
we will still receive individuals, for crisis purposes, but also because we serve people with mental health services mental health issues who needed their services, who needed their treatment, et cetera. And so in 2020 of, I believe it was May, April,
Hmm.
May, we noticed that we were getting some chatter that morning that people were getting calls to go to the office of the supervisor or the director of the facility. And then one of the coworkers there who I did get connected with came in and said, "Hey, they just let me go."
Ooh.
And I said, "What?" And I said, "So when is your last day?" And she said, "Today." And she said, "They are going to be talking to some other people." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, sorry, girl. I'm sorry about that. Let me know what you need. Let me know." And of course, I wasn't really thinking myself because I'm like, I got this management position. We got to still make sure that this thing is working here, that we can still maintain the processes and all of the things, right? No, I got a call to come
Mm.
to the director's office. Her and the HR personnel was there, and they informed me that because I had a management role and I did not have a caseload, in other words, I wasn't making any money for the business,
Mm.
that I was immediately let go,
Wow.
that today was going to be my last day. Now they would pay me for a few more days, but I was to not return to the office at all. Mind you, the office is straight up, all the things. It don't even look like somebody was leaving. So after leaving that office, I had to walk back and begin to pack up my things. Began to send out emails that I needed to send out, documents that maybe other therapists would need, um, and pack my stuff up and I left. And I never came back. So I was immediately let go in the middle of a pandemic. Yeah.
Dang. So I'm gonna ask the question that
Hmm.
I know a lot of, how do I want to word this? A lot of folks that have graced the threshold of a church at some point in their life. Because we know everybody that walk in there ain't saved. Hallelujah. Um, okay. So
You're right.
yay. Some people would say who went through that. And you
Mm-mm.
you you let us know if you felt that way. God, why did you let this happen to me?
And did.
Mm,
I sure
come on,
did.
girl.
I mean, I was like, God, I'm good peoples.
All right.
I got
Lest
I
she
was
forget.
good peoples.
Mhm.
I talk to you often. I do. I treat people well. I'm not a mean or a spiteful person. I do my job. I do above and beyond. Why me?
Yeah.
So that was definitely a question that I've had multiple times. And I would
Mm.
even say for weeks, maybe even months, that I questioned that, why me? Because that has never in my life, I have never lost a job because of being laid off or fired of any of that reason. If I left the position, it was because that was my choice.
Right.
So to have that happen to me, it was a rude awakening. And I guess maybe if you walk around this world being blinded, like things can't happen to you, I think that's what that was for me. You know, I can't be touched. But you can.
Mm.
You can. Absolutely. Absolutely you
Mm.
can. So I was
Yes.
reminded that I can be touched. And just like other people, things can happen to other people, it can happen to me too. Yeah.
Wow. So that sounds like that was that experience, those moments were maturing moments for
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Now, I know we have a lot of believers that listen to this podcast and non-believers as well. Hey, welcome to the family. Um, and sometimes we are on the struggle bus, okay? Uh, we wish it would pass us by, and when it stops in
Yeah.
front of us and opens the door, it's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this today. And you were told, just like the lady before you, today, not
Today.
2 week notice. Today is your last day. Pack up your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here.
That's pretty much what they said. Coded.
Oh,
It's all coded with rainbows and bows, and you did such a great, you were really good and blah blah blah, but we don't need you anymore. We can't afford you. Those weren't the words, but that's what I felt.
mm,
But could you not have offered me just a therapist position? Did I have to be a man? Could you offer me the custodian position? Could you? You didn't even think to offer me anything. The answer was, you got to go.
get out.
Yeah.
And those are interesting questions, because when we come to places like this in our life, and we really can't see how God is moving,
Honey.
we know he gets us uncomfortable in order
Mhm.
to get us to the place and the space that he wants us to be.
Mhm.
So we got you. You done packed up your stuff. Had you told your husband? When did you tell your husband? Was it on the ride home? Was it
You know what? I really don't. I can't recall if I had text him immediately when I got back to the office, or on my way home, or when I got home. I cannot.
okay?
I can. I think at that time things were a little blurry for me, to be
Yes.
completely honest. I think it was just trying to recognize, is this really real? Did this just happen? Like,
Am
uh,
I being punked?
yeah, am I being blunt? They're gonna turn around and be like, I'm just playing.
Right.
Honestly, I cannot, and if he's on here, maybe he can be able to tell you, but I can't recall, to be completely honest. If my mind serves me correctly, I probably would have texted him immediately when I walked back into my office to go and
Okay.
begin to pack up.
Okay.
Yeah. Either that, or I waited until I got home.
Do you even remember the drive home?
No, I do not. That's a blur. That is a blur. But I do
And so,
remember that
mhm,
he was at home and my daughter was at home, because school, they had called, they everybody had to be at home for school, remember? Hmm. So I knew walking through the door there was gonna have to be an explanation.
yeah, because why are you home? What you doing home? Yeah, all of that.
All of it.
All of that.
All of it.
So let's fast forward. You at some point have the conversation with your husband,
Yeah.
and y'all are trying to figure out what your next steps are going to be.
Yeah.
Now, and I know your husband is super supportive,
Hmm.
but were you really hearing anything he was saying in that moment in time? I
No.
wouldn't either.
No,
We've
not
been
at
like
all.
Charlie Brown. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah.
I mean, yes, I think because of who he is, he didn't want to, be going all for what not in front of me, knowing that I was not feeling,
Yeah.
what just happened, right? So
Yes.
I, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, in the back behind these doors, he probably going slam off. Anxiety is on 100. What are we gonna do about this money, this rent? I mean, this all of that. What we gonna do? We got bills. We got student loans.
Girl. Girl. Them suckers just never seem to go away.
Oh,
So,
yes.
so everybody's having their own mental in episode, whatever that looked like.
Right.
Um, and then what were your next steps?
Um, my next steps were to try to find some type of job. Of course, with it being during the pandemic, you like, who gonna try to hire me right now?
Exactly. Exactly. They letting people go,
Because
obviously.
I mean, because honestly, there were a lot of other mental health agencies that were closing, that
Okay.
were removing or, lessening their services because of the pandemic.
Okay.
So you letting me go immediately, and I'm like, okay, well then who gonna hire me now? Like,
Right.
yeah, so that was hard, but I did, go on to, Indeed, those main websites, to try to find like a remote therapist position,
Hmm.
of some sort. Luckily, you had what they call like BetterHelp. People probably hear them now, BetterHelp or
Yes.
Talkspace. So BetterHelp, they allowed me to, get a little platform. The money is not the same. It's different. But I still had the opportunity to make some money, utilizing my degree of some sort.
Mm.
So I was able to start doing that, but I was like, this isn't working for me. Like, I'm not liking this. But I think as I was starting to work with BetterHelp, I began to have a lot of anger
Oh.
behind what had happened. And then more so of like, I am tired of people being able to dictate how I'm supposed to work, when I can work, when I can't work, how many hours I can do, who I need to see, how much to get
Mhm.
paid,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
PTO I can use, when I can go on vacation,
All of that.
all of that. It
Yes.
kind of dawned on me, and I was like, my professional life was in their hands,
Mm.
and at any moment they could have grabbed it from me sooner, and they did eventually. And I knew from then I didn't really want that to happen anymore. I didn't. I want to be able to begin to figure out for myself, take my own reins, be able to say, no, you make the decision. If you want to
Mhm.
work today, you work today, but you always going to have a spot. You always going to have a job, and then being able to be fair to people. To me, I didn't think it was fair. I understand if you were losing money. I understand if I wasn't making money because I didn't have a caseload, but I didn't think the way that I was let go was fair.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't consider the livelihoods, the people that they're gonna have to tell that they don't have a job once they left. You didn't think about that.
So what was the breaking point, a transitional point within your mind where you said, I wanna do all these things and I want to do it my way. This is how I have to do it. What made you take that leap? Because a lot of people have that conversation with themselves and they continue to have that conversation for the rest of their life because they don't do nothing.
Well, you do know that that I had that conversation for 2 years after
Oh,
that.
come on. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a second. Where's my noise? Where's my noise maker? Because I'm finna boo you on that one. I am, where- yeah, we booing you on that
Let
one.
me tell you what I did. So, so I did start working with BetterHelp. And I said, you know what? I want to have my own. I want to be able to do this, right? So
Yeah.
I did start working on a business plan. I had got my name together. I had registered my name in September of 2020. I had got my tax ID number in September of 2020. And then I let it sit
For 2 years, Candice.
for
What
two
was the hold
years.
up? What was the hold up?
Fear,
Mm.
not knowing if I could actually do it and be successful, not knowing if I had the skills to be able to own a business or practice, not knowing if I'm gonna have people that's gonna come to the practice and want to have my services, scared of failing. scared of trying and failing. I didn't want to fail again because me being laid off made me feel like I failed.
Oh, wow. So somebody else's actions, because you didn't fire yourself.
Absolutely.
Somebody else's actions made you
Mhm.
feel like a failure.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
y'all being quiet in the chat. I need to make sure, is this thing on? Somebody else's actions made Candice feel like a failure. That, and I think that happens to people more often than it's talked about.
Yeah.
Because if a person doesn't get certain accolades, promotions, raises, or whatever, then they feel like it's a direct reflection on them. And then, some people, they go to work and they just get a check. They really ain't hitting on nothing.
Hmm.
Um, However, you are in a management position and somebody else making the decision to let you go, not based on your performance, okay, made you feel like a failure. So you didn't want to fail again.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to go through that? Nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Not if you thought you that the firing was a failure, which made it your fault. Because y'all hearing this? Because the whole point of this conversation tonight is to help the listeners, help those who are viewing.
Hmm.
I know somebody else has felt that way. It may not have been job related, maybe it was relationship related, but I want you to hear how I'm wording this so you can get free.
Hmm.
Somebody else's action made you feel like a failure. Somebody else's action.
It can turn into guilt.
And yes, because you had husband, daughter, bills with lots of S's, bills. And even though you had the better help job, it wasn't
Mhm.
the same money that you had before.
No, not at all.
And
Mm-mm.
you started the motions of, having your own business, the name, the tax
Mhm.
ID number, all those things,
Mhm.
the same year that you were let go,
Mhm.
and then you sat on it for 2 years.
I mean, it was grief. That's what grief can do.
Mm.
When you lose the things that you've had an attachment to, or that may have been like a part of your identity, is going through grief, and sometimes it can be
Wow.
traumatic, right? And so, if it's traumatic, it's gonna make you question a lot of things. It's gonna make you take a step back. It's gonna make you make slow moves or make none at all. You know. So yeah.
So do you feel like the moment that you took that plunge to start your business, was that when your grieving was over, or you recognized that you were grieving? Like what pulled you out of that?
Um Really, it was a plethora of being able to see that other people were doing, having their practice. I have a good friend of mine in Tennessee, who has her own practice, and she has been growing that thing. So being able to look upon that, has been something positive for me. Being able to hear, like my husband, he'll say, well, you can, you can do this, has been a positive thing to me. But then sometimes you're like, well, he's supposed to say that, he He's supposed to say that. He's supposed to be, supportive and don't want to feel like he's not supporting your dreams or your ideas, right? But I had a conversation that really made me pull the trigger. Was a conversation that I had with a cousin of mine. His name is Courtney. And
Mhm.
Courtney has had multiple businesses, has managed quite a few things. And we was just having a conversation, and I was telling him about, how, I got the name Breaking Cycles Counseling PLC, but I ain't started nothing. And he literally said, "Well, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? What are you waiting on?" And I could not answer the question.
Hmm.
The fact that I couldn't answer the question meant that I just needed to do it. And he just said, "You just need to do it."
Yeah.
Whether you end up messing up or it fails, you can always start back over, but you'll never know if you don't do it. And I think I just maybe needed to hear it from somebody that may have had a similar experience as
Okay.
far as being a entrepreneur or a business owner, who I could see, okay, well, he's done it. He understands that space a little bit more, but it really was because I could no longer answer the question, what are you waiting on? Because everything else was set up.
Wow.
Everything was set up and ready to go, but I just sat on it. So I wasn't confident in myself. I didn't honestly believe in myself and the gift I felt like God has given me, to be able to pull it.
So, for those of you who are listening, those of you who are watching, those of you that are going to be hearing the replay, I want you to grab a hold of what I'm getting ready to say. I want you to let it marinate in your shana and get it in there real deep. Get it in there real deep. Doing nothing gets you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Doing nothing
Mm-hmm.
gets you nothing. If you want to have something, you got to do something. I mean, that's just
Mm-hmm.
how this thing works.
Mm-hmm.
That's how
Yes.
it works. So if you're holding back or you're scared, I mean, you're not gonna be any worse off than where you are now because you ain't doing nothing.
Right. And then there was a quote that I came across saying the things that we really want is on the other side of fear. And
Mm,
so I had to imagine myself like meeting the wall of fear. And
yeah.
then on the other side of that wall were all the things that I wanted: the business, the stability, the things, all of it. But knowing that that wall could still be broken, it
Hmm.
still could be climbed over, it could still be walked around, it could be pushed through, knowing that fear means that what we really and truly desire is on the other side, and that we have to deal with the fear. We have to walk with the fear. Fear doesn't mean to stop, it just
Right.
means, to carry it with you to your goals, because at the end of the day, it's going to end up being behind you and not in front of you. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Yes, the things, and I'm putting that on the screen, the things that we really want are on the other side of fear. So it's not the fact that you weren't afraid, you just did it scared.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you regret doing it?
Oh, no. No, no, ma'am. Mm-mm. I love having my own. I love it. And I love that I can cultivate the environment that I would like for therapists and future therapists. So, and for the patients and the clients that we work with. So I can cultivate that in the way that I would like it to be. Yeah.
And just in case you all didn't hear, the name of your practice is Breaking Cycles,
Breaking
right?
counseling. Mm-hmm.
Breaking Cycles Counseling. So, what cycles do you feel like you broke?
Ooh, fear for one, or at least remaining stagnant while being fearful. So definitely being able to break that. So now, if I am fearful of things in my mind, it's like, okay, I must really want this thing, you know. Let's figure out how I'm gonna
Yes.
get it. Now I know, you know, that it can still be done, even
Mhm.
with fear. So yes, that's definitely one that is being broken. I think pride also,
Wow.
you know, you don't want to tell nobody that you got laid off of a job. You
I
couldn't
know,
hold
but you
on to
didn't
your
tell
job.
nobody.
That you unemployed and that you,
Yeah.
yeah, nobody want. No, that was a hard thing to, you know, say to people. You know, even to say to my husband, "Hey, babe, I ain't got no job now."
Wow.
You know, yeah. So I would definitely say remaining stagnant while fearful and pride.
Wow. So as you look back over that whole situation, because we're talking about from 2020 to 2022,
Hmm.
what do you say now, hindsight, that God was doing in you?
I think he was preparing me, one, to build my confidence up. But I think I needed to be reminded on how to trust him
Mm,
and to remember his promises and to remember that he will never leave me. It kind of takes me back to Isaiah 41:10, right? Where it talks about, fear not, you know, for I am with thee, do not be dismayed, and he'll strengthen you. All those things I'm paraphrasing. But, you know, that scripture does come to mind. So even if I do begin to fear things, I have to go back and reference that, you know, to kind of remind me that it's you know, if I am fearful, you know, God is with me if I am connected to him, you know, and if I remain connected to him. So I think I also needed to trust him, being in a place of what feels like instability, being able to
mm.
trust that he's still going to work everything out.
With your practice, so you moved forward because you already
Mhm.
had the name, you already had the tax ID. When you say you moved forward in your business, what did that look like to move forward?
Oh, I got the bank account, I got the loan, and then I went to go look for a location.
Mm-hmm.
And then I opened up May of 2022, brick and mortar. So I didn't start remote. So some people will probably say, you probably should have started just virtual only. But I was like, that ain't what I want to do. So
Right.
even here again, we're just gonna take it and see what happens. And so yeah, I end up getting a place, and clients that I had transferred over to my practice. So I started my practice with clients that I already had previously that I was
Wow.
currently working with at the time. And then come to find out, there were some clients that had been looking for me, and they end up finding me on Psychology Today. And so
Shout
that's
out to
what that,
Psychology Today.
yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah. So when I say that I actually took the steps, I mean the physical steps of getting an actual place, getting my system set up, getting me connected to all the insurances, getting my just getting my website together, my logo together, you know. And I opened up in May 2022, and I where I was working at, I left completely.
Mhm.
So I just went full time to my place. Some people would start part time and go back and forth. I went full time. So at that point, I was like, you know, it is what it is at this point. And I already lost the job. So what now?
Exactly. So I want to make sure that I have a clear picture. So all these things that you were doing, getting the loan, the logo, finding the brick and mortar, all those things, you were doing that yourself. You didn't have a team that
No.
was helping you pull these things together. You were doing it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now I didn't make the logo up and I
Right.
didn't make the website, but I just used it's called fiverr.com. So where
Mhm.
they have multiple freelancers. So just chose the freelancer and told them what I wanted to look like, what the vision was, and there it was. So yeah, I did all of that. All of that. All of it.
What do you say to the person who says, Candice, I know that I should be doing A, B, C, D, but that but comes in, and then there's the whole train of excuses. What do you say to that person who comes to you like that?
Mm. I think what I would say first is, well, what is your why behind what you want to do? What is your WHY? Why do you want to do this? And then will it matter if you decide not to do it? Will this why still matter?
Ooh, now that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Will the why matter if you decide not to
To
do
do
it?
it.
And that's why you're a therapist and I'm a coach, because my approach is a little bit harder than that. Okay, good. That's so very good.
Oh.
That was very gentle. That was very demure. Very good. And this is why I have folks who are very balanced and calm on the podcast, so that I too can learn. So
But then
maybe
if you want to go your route, you can just say what you need me to do.
I don't even do that, because then that's volunteering me for stuff. Girl,
Maybe that's
we
what that
start
would be the other
chipping
part of
away.
it then.
We start chipping away. What you mean, but let's stop right there at the but, because that's where the excuses come in. Okay,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
we're gonna kill it right there. Everything after that don't even mean nothing. That's how I come.
That's right.
Um, but I love what you said, and I love how you said it. I feel
Mm-hmm.
that it was appropriate. For those of you that are listening, go talk to Candice. So May 2022, you got the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Clients are starting to come. You find out people are looking for
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
and business is doing well.
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, a little bit ago, I come knocking at your door.
Yeah.
Y'all who are just listening to the audio, y'all, you didn't see Candace's forehead wrinkle and gather together. Y'all missed that part. So I
Oh,
came knocking at your door. And what was I knocking about, Candace?
girl, you were talking about some kind of book, getting some kind of book together, writing some kind of chapter. And I said, who?
Oh,
Who
God,
you
some
talking about?
kind of book. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So I came knocking on the door with the opportunity for you to be a published author and to tell a portion of your testimony, your journey
Yeah.
in your chapter.
Yeah.
And she didn't immediately say yes, y'all. Don't even get it twisted or confused. Okay? She did not immediately say yes. But you prayed about it. Now, I've never asked you this question, but I'm gonna ask you now. When you prayed, what did you say to the Lord?
Send me a sign if I'm supposed to do this.
Mm,
Because, Lord, you know I'm not a writer.
wow.
And what story am I supposed to tell if I'm writing this? Yeah. What story is going to be impactful enough for me to write a chapter in this collaboration book. Yeah. So Lord, send me a sign that I'm supposed to do this. Let
And
me know.
what was your sign?
What was my sign?
I'm curious. I'm being nosy now because I ain't never asked you, but I'm nosy.
What's my sign? It was a dream. Because I
Mm,
don't know if I told you, I'm a vivid dreamer.
okay.
I have vivid dreams nightly. Even hold on to a dream book, but I haven't wrote in it for a while. But there was something in regards to breaking free, but also a new endeavor that was connected to the dream. And then I think too, just the name of my practice witnessed to me in general,
Hmm.
breaking cycles counseling, and knowing that it was going to be called breaking free was okay. Then maybe I'm supposed to, maybe this is it. Maybe I am supposed to try something different. Maybe this is an opportunity, but definitely those two stand out for me for sure.
Did you feel any of the fear?
Yeah.
That laugh. Okay. You did.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not a writer. I don't consider myself to be a writer. Can I write? Yes, but do I feel like that my story is compelling enough
Wow.
to be a book or be in a collaboration book, you know? So, yeah.
So you didn't think anybody would want to
No,
hear?
no. I can tell my story better than write it. So,
I want to hit my boo button again, but I ain't going to. I want to hit it so bad. My hand is itching. Lord have mercy. So what
yeah.
was the name of your chapter in the book? And you have the book with you, right?
Hmm. With my back against the wall, because literally, I felt like my back was against the wall.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, in all honesty, Nishika, I think for you to have approached me and having conversations with you made me feel like I had a story worth telling,
Yeah.
um, and that this was something that I could do. I mean, you were a productivity coach. You did exactly what you do, but it was honesty and you being really sincere because you know me.
Yeah.
We know each other, so I don't think you would have just came to me, just to do that. You knew there was something about me that would work, and I definitely appreciate that.
I did know. Oh, and I don't. We got people comment. The chat done woke up. Uh,
Oh, that's Regina. That's my best friend.
best friend.
Hmm.
So those of you who are just listening, make sure you let us know where you're listening in from. Put your city and state, or if it's a different country, put your country in. I always like to know where my viewers are coming in from. So with my back against the wall, at the time you were writing your chapter, was that wall fear? The wall that your back was against, was it fear? Was it different things at different times?
I think it was different things at different times.
Okay.
Um, I think if you want to talk about specifically about when I was doing the writing, definitely fear was there. Definitely feeling uncertain or uncertainty was there. Um, Feeling anxious was
Mm,
there, and I don't feel anxious often. But feeling anxious, again, that's all the negative thinking, you
yeah.
know, being concerned about what I'm gonna put out there, and especially because talking about family and different things like that, you also want to make sure that you're not putting out stuff that family or friends or my husband, would be like, wait a minute now, why should put that in there?
Exactly.
Because I am somebody that's honest at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and so that was another thing too, um, yeah. So definitely a plethora of things that represented that wall.
That wall. So
Hmm.
let's see the cover of. She done said home of. Don't be talking about. Listen, she done said home of the Krispy Kreme donuts. Listen, what I want you to do, since you at the home of the Krispy Kreme, and this is a little rabbit trail, but it has purpose. Since you at the home of the Krispy Kreme donuts, I need you to drop them jokers a line and tell them that them same vegan donuts that they have over in the UK, them jokers can bring them over here into these United States, specifically Greensboro, North Carolina, because they playing games. Okay? Say it just
Not the
like that.
vegan donuts.
Say it just like
Not the
that.
vegan donuts, honey.
Yes, I was online about to order some donuts, and I noticed that
Oh Lord.
um the way to pay was in pounds and not dollars. I said, wait a second, why is this in pounds? Because I stuck all the way in the UK playing with my emotions. Anyway, so let's see the cover of the book. Let's see the book because I want you all to go and get Breaking Free, the making of an entrepreneur. When I heard Candice's testimony, immediately that's what she went through was the title of the book. She broke free and became an entrepreneur. And you did what a lot of people don't do is you didn't get stuck at fear.
Mm-hmm.
Fear is a place where a lot of people rest and they don't even realize they're resting there because they gave up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have the evidence of your resilience, your strength, God's hand on you. All of that is showing through your business. And Regina laughing. Girl, we laughing, but we serious. Go on, get over there now. Um, if y'all have never met her husband grins just as wide as she does, and he's so funny. And I know that having that support means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I know he's saying, "Oh, I knew you could do it," I know he also saying, "Oh, I'm glad she did it." Them bills are glad that she did it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those who want to buy a copy of the book, Candice, where can they get that and read the fullness of your story? Because we did not have time to go into everything.
Yeah.
So, where can they get a copy of the book? And I'm going to put it into the chat.
Well, you can go to the bio section of my Facebook page, which is Candice Burke Dixon, as well as the bio section Counseling PLC page on Facebook. And then if you don't have the social media, you can just email me at candice.dixon@breakingcyclescounseling.com.
Okay. Or because I do have some folks on here who are not on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Email is Candice.Dixon at, oh, come on, at Breaking Cycles Counseling.
Counseling. .com.
All right. So there are two ways that you all can get the book. If you do not have social media, send her an email. Send it tonight while it is on your mind, and just
Yes.
let her know that you saw her on the podcast and you want to get copies because we like for you to purchasing in pairs. We like for you to purchase in pairs. Um, If you are on social media, just go to her bio section, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and click on the link to order copies. We like pairs, Pairs, because I know I have some jokesters on here too. Y'all not funny. Pairs of the book. Now, Candice told you
You
that
did.
we do a little surprise thing on the podcast. And so, what it is, the guest before you leaves a question. They don't know who's coming next. They just leave whatever question that comes to their mind. And then you're going to leave a question for the next guest. Okay.
Okay.
So here's your question. Let me tell you how God works. And I'm going to say this every single week because the question that is left always correlates to the conversation that takes place without fail. So this person said, if you were to do it all over again, how would you do it? And what part would you remove? Look at that face. Y'all got, listen, if you just listening to the audio, get on YouTube because you have to catch that face she just did. Okay. Her mouth might not say nothing, but her face is screaming.
Okay. If I could do it all over again
Mhm.
in the same way, but what would I leave out? Or what would
If you could do it all over again, how would you do it? And what part would you remove? So would you change anything? And then what would you leave out? What would you delete?
You know what? I don't think I would do anything differently. I believe that God ordered the steps in the way that they were supposed to happen. Who am I to say that those steps were wrong, even though it made me feel uncomfortable and I didn't like it? So I would not change anything. There were lessons learned. I call them learning opportunities, and it allowed me to see God working and moving. So I don't think I will change anything. No.
Let. Yes, ma'am. That I ain't gonna boo you this time.
Thank you.
That deserve a round of applause. And to say that you saw God's hand moving, and who are you to say that how he moved wasn't right? That it wasn't what needed to happen. I love that perspective. I love that perspective. And we hear so many people who talk about don't li- oh, Regina says she knew you was gonna say that. Regina says she know you.
She does.
She knows you because she put that new in all caps, honey. Yes. And I'm gonna put it on the screen. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the screen. Go on, Regina. Yes. We hear oftentimes that we should live this life without regrets.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people do have regrets and they do have
Mm-hmm.
things that they want to remove. And it's amazing when I come across people who say, you know what? God did his thing and I would not change anything about it. Girl, that's good.
Ain't it good?
All the time, all of the time.
All.
Now, what question would you leave for the next person?
Okay. Do I get a hint of
Mm-mm,
no? Okay.
mm-mm.
What um what do you believe is the next move God will make for you?
What do you believe is the next move that God will make for you? Now I'm gonna have to give the person who's gonna be interviewed next. I'm gonna have to give them. I'm gonna have to ask them the question a little bit uh, before I ask you, because they're gonna be long winded on this one right here. I already know, and they can hear me. And I said what I said. Are there any? Because I don't want you to go anywhere. I'm gonna make an announcement, but I know we couldn't cover everything. Is there anything that you want to share with our audience that you didn't get to share?
um Maybe just to make it known that my chapter doesn't just focus on being laid off, but just recognizing periods in my life where my back was against the wall, or I felt like my back was against the wall, and how I got into the entrepreneurship mindset based off of the things that I've experienced in my life. So things that I experienced or observed as a child, in my young adult years. Some of those things, my perspective has changed over the years to the point of being able to have the mindset of an entrepreneur and being ready for it. So,
I love that. I love that. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me have your attention just for one quick second. So, as I mentioned earlier, I am a simplified productivity coach. So, I take productivity and simplify it. I have created strategy that works whether you are an entrepreneur or not. Now, I have had people come up to me and say, Nishika, I want to work with you. I'm in the beginning stages. I just don't have the money. Or, Nishika, I want to work with you. I'm in a 9 to 5 job and everything is really tight. I want you to know that I heard you, I heard you, and I heard you. So, what I have done is I have created a community on school. It's called Minding My Business. That is my brand, Minding My Business. And in this community, the same trainings, the same teachings that I do in group sessions as well as in one on ones, they are going to be in this community. And the trainings will be live, and the replays will also stay in the community. There is a cost, but it's only $27 a month, y'all. That's it. $27 a month to join this community. I am putting the link in the chat and it will also be in the comments. Now, when you click on that link, you're going to see two options. One is for the general, which is $27 a month. The other is VIP. The difference between the two, the VIP will also get a quarterly session with me, a 2-hour quarterly session. What's the value on that? I charge $250 an hour. So there's a lot of value in that. Plus, you will get a free ticket to my Minding My Business conference that I have every year in September. $97 a month for VIP. That's it. $97. You still get all the trainings, you get all the replay, but you also get the one on one time. And I do have receipts for the results that I get. Okay. I ain't just throwing it out here all willy nilly. All right, then. So the link is in the chat. I'm also gonna put it in the comments. If you are on the school community, because I know some people listen to the audio and you can't access the chat, just look for Minding My Business and you will see a picture of me holding my little plushie doll that says Minding My Business. I want to see you go further in 2026 than you ever have in your previous years. And I have made it absolutely affordable for you to do that immediately. Now, Candice, I heard you. I heard you laughing in the background. I want to thank you so much. I thank you for being transparent in the book because it is hard to weigh out what's safe to tell. Even though it's your
Mhm.
story, like you said, there are other people involved.
Mhm.
It wasn't just you. And I
Mhm.
thank you also for being transparent on this call because there are so many people that are at that wall of fear and they don't know how to get, they don't even think they can get on the other
Mhm.
side. So
Mhm.
thank you so much for that. For those of you that are watching or listening, please put in the chat for the replay, leave your comments, support Candice. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications because next week is going to be fire as well. I will see y'all next Tuesday,
Thank
7
you.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you,
I appreciate
Candace.
you. Thank you.
And I will holla at everybody later on. Y'all take care and have a blessed rest of your week.